My name is Angela and I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. On this channel, we discuss everything mental health in our day-to-day activities, in interpersonal relationship with people, and just living fantastic about life. So if I see my face for the first time, I welcome you especially to Mindful Talk with me, Angie. There's something I've been meaning to discuss on this channel. One of the topics on my list to discuss is about the importance of setting boundaries in your interpersonal relationships with people. You know, a lot of relationships, friendships, they suffer, even marriages suffer a lot of hiccups, sometimes toxic. Sometimes people don't feel the importance or the need to set boundaries. Mind you, most of the time, boundaries are not set boundaries are not set verbally. Most of the time, boundaries are not set verbally. They are mostly inferred. Like things happens and people feel, oh, this is what this person likes. This is what this person does not like. And so, there's the importance of setting boundaries. Boundaries are healthy ways of maintaining a long-lasting relationships. I found that very interesting recently, and so even me, I didn't have the knowledge of thinking there's need to set boundaries, or maybe I set boundaries, but I didn't know. Now that I'm talking to you, I only knew of recent that it's important to set some boundaries in some relationships. There are some relationships that may not necessarily need boundaries. I'm not saying there won't be boundaries at all, but the kind of boundaries you set in different relationships differs, you know. So it depends on how close you are to that person. There's some friendship that people take as family, and then even as families, you also need to set boundaries. In between your siblings, you need to set boundaries at work. You need to set boundaries with your in-laws. You need to set boundaries with your neighbors, with every person that comes close to you, especially if you are meeting them for more than 1 month. You are working with them, you are staying with them, they are your friends, they are your family, they are your relations. There is the importance of setting boundaries, okay? So that's what we are discussing in this video. So if you have tips or you know more about setting boundaries, I'll be looking for your comments in the comment section. Please, let's know about setting boundaries in relationships, in friendships, in marriages. That's the topic we're discussing now, right? So there are a lot of different ways people can set boundaries. People can set physical boundaries, like you don't like people to invade your space. You don't like people coming into your bedroom. There are some people, they don't like their friends coming into their bedrooms. Yes, they don't like their relations or their family members or their siblings entering into their bathroom. You can't use their bathroom. That is them. They have set their own boundaries. They will even say it, please do not come in. It is my space. I need it. So those are physical boundaries. Or let's say in your office, you have a kind of section where you keep your food, your drink, and you don't allow other people to use it. Also, you know, there is this boundary of people using cup, spoon, plates. It is my own at home. Do you remember, right? The boundary of you can't use, this is mommy's cup, this is daddy's spoon, this is daddy's plate, you can't use it. Those are boundaries, if you don't know, right? Those are boundaries. So people don't go out. You already know because those ones are already spelled out. So most of the time, physical boundaries are spelled out. They are verbally explained to people who you want to know about those boundaries, okay? And then there's what is called time boundaries. A lot of time, for you not to feel people are taking you for granted or people are taking advantage of you, it's important to set time boundaries. Time boundaries, like there's a limit to which you can discuss with someone. You have set, okay, at most, last, I'm talking with this person for like 2 hours, for like 3 hours. I'm going out with my friends for mostly 2 hours. Once it's 2 hours, I'm back to other things. There are people like that. They're so meticulous. Their life is, orderly. They have order. They have a routine. Like they follow every day, and so they set time. And it's important. Such persons are good with time management, and they are able to use their time productively and positively for their own good, and even for the good of the people around them and the society around them. So people set time boundaries because they have a lot to do, they value time, and they know what to do with their time. And so it's also important that in our interpersonal relationships, in our marital relationships, in our work relationships, it's important to set boundaries. Boundaries are not bad things. For me, I now found it interesting and important. It's a good thing to do, especially healthy boundaries. There are also unhealthy boundaries anyway. So they are important. It's important to set healthy boundaries in a interpersonal relationship with people, so that you are able to know yourself, to love yourself, and even value yourself the more. So I'm coming to that anyway, right? There are also emotional boundaries. Like, you will not let people take advantage of you. You will not let people get to your nerve. Like, you set emotional boundaries. You don't let people talk you down because you value yourself. People set sexual boundaries. Like, for instance, people don't like you to them to be touched in a particular way. Those are in some marital relationships. Some people, there's this thing they call prenuptial agreements. Those are also boundaries. There are some boundaries that are spelled out in some prenuptial agreements. People do it. Africans, they are now valuing the importance of having prenups signed before they get married. So those are ways to also set boundaries, because you know yourself and you know the limits you can go. You don't want to take too much, because you value yourself, you value your relationship, and so you want it to grow, you want your relationship to be healthy, and so people set boundaries. So in their there are sexual boundaries. People set sexual boundaries. Like, I don't want to be touched in a particular way. It is their body, and so they respect it. Especially in their relationship, maybe before it gets to marriage, or maybe in their friendships. Some people don't like to be hugged in a particular way. They don't like to be pet. Please don't pet me. And so I also know that there is a limit to which I can go with people. I also try to be attentive. I also try to be sensitive enough to understand other people's boundaries. It's also important that you are sensitive to the boundaries that people will try to set for you in your relationships with them. And then there is also material or financial boundaries. This particular one, when people don't know when not to borrow money, or when not to borrow material things. Like, I used to be friends with some people back in uni days, and some people don't know that it's not good to borrow bag, borrow shoes, borrow clothes, as in borrow to return. If you want someone to give you something, it's different. But you borrow and borrow and borrow and borrow. When you set your boundaries, people will not come to you to borrow me back for one occasion. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to borrow people bags or shoes, but some people, once you give them 1 inch, they will take 1 yard. In fact, they will take 10 yards. Those are some kinds of people. That's how they are. And so it's important that you set your material boundaries. Please, these are my stuffs. You don't take my stuffs without my knowledge. It is me, and you ask for it, then I'll give it to you. Okay? There are also financial boundaries. Like, some people borrow money, they will not. Those are where some friendships become toxic. They become they stress. They become something that becomes boring and uninteresting anymore. Some friendship even break up because friends borrow money and then return becomes a problem. And so if you have set financial boundaries, people will know that, hey, you don't go and borrow money from such a person. He or she will not give you. Like, she will not give you, he will not give you. Even if he gives you, it is the money that she will know that I have dashed you, don't worry. So set financial boundaries, set material boundaries, set your physical boundaries, set your time boundaries, your emotional and sexual boundaries. These are important, because a lot of times I've seen friendships go south, just because people feel it's no more interesting, it's no more worth it. Like, this person does not value me, this person doesn't like me, this person doesn't know what I like, this person doesn't. We don't match. People say that a lot. We don't have things in common. It's because at first, from the relationship, you don't set boundaries. Now, I have also come to realize that most of the time, boundaries take time before you are able to identify that this is what this person likes or wants. It takes like months or weeks or even sometimes years before you're able to realize that, oh, this is what this person doesn't really like. Oh, this is what I should do with this person. Oh, this is how this person wants this and that. And so, if you are able to be patient, you are able to be sensitive, like I said, you're wise enough to be able to know what someone wants, and then it also starts with you. Once you set your own boundaries, you won't do the same to people because you also have your boundaries that you have set on your own. And so the other person will be able to see, oh, this is how this person is. I've seen this is how this person does his or her things, and so I would not like to, step. And so there are importance of setting boundaries in relationships and friendships. It prevents conflict. There won't be problem. Like, we'll not have issues. You understand? We'll not have issues. You do your do, I do my own. There will not be problems. And so that's one of the importance, and that's one of the reasons why I find setting boundaries very important in relationships. Then it helps you become more independent. That you're able to do things on your own. You are able to achieve a lot. You plan yourself. You do your things. You're able to become self-independent. Your self-esteem is intact, so no one is trampling on your self-esteem, no one is talking you down, no one is making you feel less of yourself. And then you're able to identify who you are, you're able to know who you are, because there are a lot of things for you to do that, aside from the fact that you have friends that can help you to identify yourself. The aim of self-identity is important when you set boundaries, and then it helps one not to feel always not always feel taken advantage of. People, you will not have that feeling at all. Once you set boundaries in your relationship, you will not have the feeling of someone is taking advantage of you, someone is taking you for granted, and all those talks that comes with relationships and all that. So there won't be issues, there won't be rancor, there won't be conflicts. Your relationship will be even sweet, interesting, fun and adventurous when you set boundaries. Like I said before, it's important to set boundaries with in-laws. When you set your boundaries with your in-laws, when you set boundaries with your relatives, they will know as much as what they can take or you can't take. And so you set your boundaries with your in-laws, with your friends, with your co-workers, with your neighbors, with people around you. It is important, and that's why I'm doing this video. I hope that you're able to learn one or two things from this topic. And as from now on, if you're someone who doesn't set boundaries, think about it. Think about setting boundaries in your relationships, in your marital relationship, with your friends and families and relatives. It's important. Think about it and see the need to do it. Okay, so if you have more comments about setting boundaries in relationships and in friendships, please put it in the comment section. And most importantly, I know that you like this video and this topic. Please give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching this video. Kindly share with your friends, with your co-workers, with your relatives. Just share this video. Give me your comments and I'll be there to respond. And most importantly, kindly subscribe to my channel. Just click on the subscribe button and also on the notification bell so that you can get notified when next I post another video. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.